Processing time on the farm. Yes, it's fall, and as we load the fruit cellar up, we have to get these carrots out. It's going to be 25 degrees by morning, so they've got to come out today. That's just the way it is. We've got some big carrots in here. Typically we plant a kind of a dark purple carrot. It seems to do really well in the clay. So you can see our planter boxes did great. Matthias here has a ginormous one. And we get pails of these things. We also have some kaleidoscope carrots just for some color. We kind of pick through those and take the white ones and take some of those out so that we can, use those for pickling. But when we process carrots, it's all hands on deck, and we're really doing several things. First of all, my bride here, Molly, is chopping them up. These are going to be blanched and frozen in bags for meals. So those purple carrots are going to meals. Matthias there is cleaning them up for her, and Julie is also helping cut up here. And we're basically measuring out set amounts and putting them into the pot that goes into the turkey roaster, and then that's how we're going to blanch them for 3 minutes. So my wife's got a full pot here, and she's going to head out to where we blanch, and she's going to get that going. Now while that's going, we got several other carrot processes going on the farm today. So it's not just blanching, bagging, and freezing carrots. But we'll put several cups of carrots in a bag after we've blanched them, and then we will get them cold by putting them in the freezer as soon as we can. This is a 3-minute blanch in boiling water. And again, the turkey cookers work really well for this. You just go in and set them down at the right spot. It barely starts to float the carrots. If you get the water level just perfect like she does, 3 minutes and you're good to go. So while that's occurring, and she's working with one that she just brought in that's steaming hot and bagging them up, and these will go directly then into the freezer. Then we'll cook them for 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a half hour depending upon how fresh they are, and we'll serve them at dinner meals. But while that's going on, another set of us is working on part 2, which is me. There's actually a part 3 too. But right now at this point, I'm actually taking the kaleidoscope carrots here, and I'm taking the fresh dill and some onion. When I say fresh dill, I mean we picked it a couple weeks ago, stuck it in the jars and kept it cold in the freezer until we're ready to use it. And I'm going to do the pickled carrots. So while they're chopping that up, I'm taking the pickle crisp, salt, the onion, and the dill, and we're going to make carrots out of it. So pickled carrots is kind of fun. I kind of like to take, smaller jars, particularly the wide mouth. I think it makes it easier to get them out. And I like to please put, like a head of dill in the bottom of each one. And I like to put a good slice of onion in the bottom of each one. And then our recipe uses about 1/8 of a teaspoon of pickle crisp in each jar. And then the salt is for the brine, which is vinegar. I think it's 4 cups of vinegar, 8 cups of water. Oh, and I forget how much salt, but there's a little bit of salt in it. And then in the jars, I think there's a tiny amount of salt too, if you want, you can put in. But it really does work out well. So here I'm just putting some onion pieces in the bottom of each jar, and it really makes a nice recipe. So we got carrots being chopped and blanched. I've got pickles being made here. And then the last part that we're actually going to work on, so here my bride is just putting in the quick 1/8 of a teaspoon of pickle crisp into each jar. But the last part that's actually going on today is we're actually cooking some carrots down to mush. You can cook them till they get soft enough and just mash them. You can cook them till they get soft enough and puree them through a blender or whatever you want to do there. Oh yeah, the pickles, I forgot about that. She does do some garlic in there too. So it's the dill in the bottom, the onion in the bottom, the 1/8 of a teaspoon of pickle crisp, and then she's got the half a teaspoon of garlic in them. So again, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic, the 1/4 on the pickle crisp, the chunk of onion, and the dill all in there. So, and it makes a really good pickled carrot, by the way. But the last thing we're doing is we're taking another set of carrots. We've got them in the oven. They're cooking down, getting soft. We're going to mash them or puree them, whichever way you like best. And then you can either freeze that as a mush when it comes out and use that for baking in breads, or in this case, we're going to do some of that. But we're also going to take some of it and put it in our freeze dryer and make it into a powder. And that powder will be delicious for used in different types of cooking throughout the winter. So here what I'm doing is cutting the carrots to a standard length that fits the jar, and then I'm slicing them into pick-up sizes. So like the slice that you want to pick up as a pickle and just eat it, right out of the jar. And I like to kind of do these with the different colors. I find it just looks so pretty. You've got, yellow carrots. You've got the orange, Danner carrots. You've got the purple carrots. I've got some white carrots. And it just really looks good. So here Grant is in there just trying to kind of stack them in. We do shove them in kind of tight, so it's like playing Jenga a little bit. And again, we're just crushing that onion and dill with the garlic and the pickle crisp down on the bottom. And he's just shoving them and making them look pretty. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fill this with the brine. The brine, you want to boil before you put into the jars, and that way it helps get these jars nice and hot too. So you have less chance of cracking them when you take them outside and hot water bath can them for the 10 to 15 minutes depending upon your area. So here I'm just filling up the water. I need 8 cups of water for my brine to 4 cups of vinegar. So just trying to make sure I get that all going and getting that ready so I can put my carrots in it. The kitchen is kind of a disaster during these things because you've got a couple ladies still cutting and processing. I'm over there putting things on the stove with water and getting them boiling. Here goes the vinegar. Remember, it was 8 cups of water to 4 cups, I believe, of vinegar. And you're trying to get all this stuff going, so you're kind of working on top of each other. But within about 4 hours, we'll have 2 great big horse totes, like what you'd use for typically manure, going. This is the salt. So here she's got a cup of salt, and she's going to put that into the brine, and we'll be good to go here on that. So the salt is in the brine, the vinegar's in the brine, the water's in the brine, and we are all set to go. Once it's boiling like that, then I can pour it into the jars. My jars are looking good. My kids got them all stuffed. I'm just going to take a little bit more dill because I just love that kind of dill flavor. And yes, I know this looks brown. It's because we're freezing here literally tonight. Freezing. So we had to take this dill before it got wrecked, cut it, and stick it in the glass jars, and then stick it in our freezer to try to make it last till this time of the fall. And it works actually really good this way. So I've got the dill in the top, and now we're just going to fill them up as tight as we can with water, leaving maybe quarter to not quite a half. I mean, it's probably more like a quarter of a headspace on these. I fill them pretty tall, and then tighten them down with the lids and the rings, and then we're going to process in our neck of the woods because we're not very high above sea level. We're only 900 feet. We're going to process for just a good 10 minutes out there. You can process longer depending upon your altitude and stuff, so just follow the ball canning book on that one based on where you live, folks. But then I take them outside and I get them in the hot water bath canners here, and I'm just going to submerge those in the boiling water and just watch them to make sure the water stays rolling in a boil. Not a real hard boil, but just a nice boil. And I'm getting that done. You can see there's a lot of steam coming off because it's pretty cold out here today. And then the pickled carrots are done. So at this point, we've bagged up about 55 bags or whatever it was of cut-up carrots. We've bagged up, I think, over a dozen of these beautiful pickled carrots. When I say bagged, I mean jarred up the pickled carrots. And now soon we'll have another roaster in the oven, so that's what it looks like. We just cut up the carrots. Doesn't really matter how you cut them up. We throw them in a roaster with like a cup or 2 of water is all you put in it. And then we just cook them till they're mush, and then we just mash them, or you can put them through your blender or your, food masher, and then you get a puree like this. Now this puree can be frozen just like this if you want, and that works good too. Sometimes you gotta be careful it doesn't break a bag. But we're gonna take some of this, and we're gonna put it on the freeze dryer trays, and we're gonna freeze dry it, and it'll become like a powder, and then that'll store even longer. So we've got some of the frozen puree. We'll have the frozen carrots cut up that we'll cook for dinners. We'll have the pickled carrots, and then we'll have the powder. And the powder can be used in a lot of different things. First of all, it makes a nice carrot soap. 2, it makes really easy work to make bread. You can make your carrot breads and stuff out of it, which is fantastic. It makes good muffins too. And what's nice about this is it lasts a long time, and we're not taking up a ton of freezer space. It's still October. I get that, but we've had 2 of my daughters out and having some success. They bagged a turkey with the bow, and they bagged shooting a flingy thingy, an arrow that is, at a deer. They banged a nice doe out already this year. So we got like I think 3 more tags to fill. So we'll be hunting through November. So freezer space might get a little tight if we're blessed and we can score. So here she is, just getting this loaded up, getting them in the freeze dryer. Typically, frozen puree like this, whether it be pumpkins or squash or carrots, probably takes about, I'm going to guess 28 to 30 hours in the freeze dryer, because it probably takes a good hour or two for it to get it cold enough and frozen. And then I'd say you're running for at least 24 on the freeze dryer to get it, dehydrated out. She's got to close the drain, set it all up, and turn on. But it's not too tough once you get used to it. And this machine has been working good for us, folks. We've had our share of a vacuum leak here or two and a pump go, but overall, since we switched to the oilless pump, I've been much happier with things. We do put a plug in the bottom of our thing down here. It's just us being precautionary because we don't like vacuum leaks. And then when it comes out, this is what we get. We get a powder. We just break it into chunks, throw it back in our little grinder thing here, and we just smash it up into a powder, and then we stick it in a jar. Once we get the jar filled up, we just take an old mason lid and a ring, and what we're going to do is take our vacuum sealer. You've seen this before. It's just a hand vacuum sealer. And we're just going to suck this down. We find that it puts less moisture in it and saves us the need of an oxygen absorbent in it. Just put this on and we'll just pump this a whole bunch of times. And, once we get it tight and down, just pop it off and the lid will stay on. So she's hard to do here one-handed, but she did it. That's nice and sealed down by the vacuum of that little hand pump. And this is good for years. We'll put the ring on it and we'll throw it in the fruit cellar. And all the carrots are done then for the year. Thank you for watching, folks. We processed carrots today.